Pounders, we are back doing what we do best, and that's putting $5 into the puppy on Underdog Fantasy. But first, some housekeeping. The Fantasy Football Draft Guide has been complete for the subscribers. All you have to do, well, first, drop a like on the video just for good luck, and then jump in our Discord and go to the cheat sheet section where we have this posted. We got 7 pages of just mini player write-ups, and we are pretty much grading every single player where they're going based on their ADP on a value scale. And we're going to do this a few times throughout the lifespan of BestBall Mania. This was completed when BBM4 was at 6% full and before the schedule release. So we'll get to see how the schedule really changes their ADPs, which is super interesting for sure. Secondly, if this video hits 50 likes, I'm going to be giving away a free Roger Goodell clown nose towel to a random commenter after the video is posted. We're going on 4 videos now. We're getting close though. It's gonna happen one of these days. Just gonna create YouTube accounts and just hit the like button. Do what you got to do. And let's see another little tidbit. We got a little nugget in the Discord as well. I may have put together a little cheat sheet for everybody. The week 15, 16, 17 matchups based on their conferences. And we can start to talk about this. I'm going to have a whole video on this tier breakdown. Who are our favorites? What games are we targeting? Etc. Etc. I think that's interesting as well. And that's always nice to have up. And Vinny, someone put up the bye weeks as well. So I'm not 100% sure if Underdog has these up yet. And it doesn't matter a whole lot, but when we're looking at QBs or tight ends, when we're only going 2, can it make that difference if we're between 2 guys and they're both correlated? Yeah, it probably could. So something to keep in mind there as well. So the Discord is live and well. Jump on in. For my next trick, we will be jumping in to a $5 puppy. Now, I'm not doing a whole lot of live 30-second drafts right now because I actually feel the biggest edge is going to be in slow drafts. I hate slow drafts, but you're able to correlate your teams more. You're able to get those double stacks, the mini stacks, the different game stacks for week 17. You can really think it out more, your teams. You can look at the bye weeks. You have time. You have time to do that. So we get the 11 spot here. We have a string of badgeless drafters, but don't let ER7 fool you in that mix at the 5 spot. A pounder. Hamlin Motorsports is out here at the 10, and we are at the 11. If I do not recognize your name, let me know where you're drafting from if you're on the stream. Oh, what's going on? Ben, ER7, and Steph, all the sickos are out here tonight. We appreciate you coming through. I love drafting late or super early. So give me like 1, 2, or 10, 11, 12. Those are sort of my favorite spots right now. I get lost in this middle range. I sort of like taking Tyreek Hill over CMC just because the running backs that fall to you in the second round in this range are such good values. You have Derrick Henry now that plays Houston twice in the playoffs. I know the Pounders didn't want to have to draft Derrick Henry, but it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. We have to do it. It's sad. And we were just starting to separate this crew, right? They were starting to get a little more spread out. And now Derrick Henry's ADP is going to close back in right on Tony Pollard, right on Chubb, just to make our jobs a little tougher. So we are going to want that exposure, Derrick Henry. We always did, though. It's best ball, and he always had that capability to have that explosion week. And when you're paying for a player, think of Mike Evans last year, terrible value, but his single game ceiling was extremely high. He won people a lot of money. If you didn't draft Mike Evans and you were in a week 17 matchup, he wasn't on your team, you probably didn't win. So sometimes you're being charged for that single game ceiling, and that's Derrick Henry. That I don't know how else to put it. So we'll see if he comes back to us at no, not 35. He won't go that far. Not in this draft. Not in this draft. He was at 26. I've seen him being drafted at like 19, 20 in a few rooms already. I like the Lamb pick over Devontae Adams. I'm doing that as well. Give me Eckler here. Give me Eckler, and I can basically just get one of these 3 receivers. You have Dallas in a Week 17 matchup against Detroit, so that's going to be super chalky, but it's not a bad thing. Hey, Jordan, welcome to the live stream. Says he's at the 7, so we'll definitely look into Jordan's team. Steph says she took Henry last draft. Dennis, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Cool. We're actually going to get Garrett Wilson, and I'm assuming Hamlin Motorsports is pulling in Amon-Ra for that Week 17 correlation, which we're going to be doing a lot of. That's another one of my favorite games. It's going to be up there with the KC Cincinnati game. That should be fireworks. That should be fireworks. I think Eckler's going too late. Like, I think Eckler is one of those guys that you could get good news that he's staying on the Chargers and he moves up. He finishes RB1 last year. Not only just RB1, he finished as the number 1 scoring flex player. He's outscored Justin Jefferson last year, and he didn't even hit 1,000 rushing yards. Now, do I expect that to happen again this year? No, but he still should probably be at the 5 or 6. Like, I have him ahead of Kelsey in my head. So that's where I'm at with Eckler. Give me Eckler at the 11 all day long. Even if this team brings in another running back, like who are they going to bring in? Like Zeke? Do you get better by bringing in Zeke? Kind of unconvinced that they do. Chubb goes at 21. So RB start. Diggs Allen, always a nice stack. Travis Kelce, Mahomes. Let's see T. Higgins if he falls to 30 for that correlation. It doesn't typically happen. Jamar Chase, Jalen Hurts. See Cooper, actually. Cooper going at 2. I've been taking Chase over Justin Jefferson a little more now, but I still want these exposures to be balanced. Like, I don't want to have 24%, or let's say I don't want to have 17% Jamar Chase and 0% Justin Jefferson. I want them to be pretty balanced, but I wouldn't mind being a little higher on Jamar Chase. We do have the addition of Addison here in Minnesota. Hawkinson's there as well. So I think it's just enough to put Chase in front. And then you have the Jamar Chase versus KC matchup week 17, which is what matters the most. Wow. So pulls in another. So no wide receiver through 3 rounds. See how that team comes out. Des got it. Oh my God. The memes. Metcalf at 31. I think Metcalf has to fall a little bit too, but I sort of get it. Like, this range starts to get ugly in my opinion. And after Hamlin's pick, I'll sort of say who my guys are in this range, but I do think this is a tricky tricky range. I like Lamar here for sure. I think he's an easy click. Would have been nice to get a little Lamar, Mark Andrews. ETN, someone that I'm not clicking in this range. Let's pull in Mark Andrews. I like the Ridley snag. I do like the Ridley snag. I need a receiver. I think we just take the chance that DJ Moore is playing this year with his best quarterback that he's played with in his career so far. I like Gibbs too, but where we have Austin Eckler, like if we did a Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson start, sure, I'll go and grab Gibbs here. I don't mind Najee as well, but I don't want to, where we go elite tight end, we have to pull in a receiver there. I feel like I have no choice. That's how I feel. Olaf, welcome to the live stream. I can't ever forget that day I felt Dez anger. Oh, yeah. Oh, coming through the TV for sure. Yeah, you don't have to bring this stuff up to Steph, all right? Are you trying to get Steph in a mood right now? Start screaming at the screen. Wide receiver teardrop after Metcalf. Yeah, I get it. And that's maybe what's keeping his ADP, but at some, like when we get to Amari Cooper and Debo, I like better than Amari Cooper, most likely, but Calvin Ridley is like the mystery box, right? He's the mystery box. Can he come into Jacksonville and be a game changer? Can he take over the number one role after not playing football for what, a year and a half, maybe even longer? I like the mystery box sometimes. So I don't mind Calvin Ridley. I don't mind the Najee. I do like the double tap, which you can't get anymore. Used to be able to get the Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews double tap like every time. Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Cooper Kupp. I mean, like, I do like that start. But I think you have to piss yellow now. Starting 2 RBs. Like when you do this, I'm like, this is fine. 2 RBs, especially in this range, where this range is like the best right now. 4 running backs, the Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, like these 3. You could add Josh Jacobs. You could add Stevenson in there. Breece Hall's, I have him ranked behind just due to the uncertainty right now. I think we can draft him later once we get good news. Now, this is the puppy and it's going to fill, so you do have to approach it a little differently. This needs to be a wide receiver desperately. But I think you can double tap running back here and then not pick another running back for 5, 6 rounds, 7 rounds, like till round 10. You come up on another good range there. Daryl, welcome to the live stream. I've done 2 of the drafts where I got Lamb, Brown, Gibbs, and Najee. Chose ETN to do something different. Okay. And that's fine. You kind of spread out your exposures a little bit. I'm just worried about ETN because in what world does he get more catches? Because this is what he needs. He needs to get more catches this season. He needs more targets in order to justify this pick of 34. And they added Calvin Ridley. So does he score more touchdowns from the goal line? Is that how he makes up the points? Tough. They also bring in who, Tank, or they bring in Tank Bigsby, I believe, is a 3rd-round pick. So I'm a little scared. A little scared when it comes to Travis Etienne. I'm rooting for Ridley as well, 100%. And he's so he comes right back around to like a Trevor Lawrence range as well, so very easy to stack. London, Keenan Allen goes to the Mahomes team with Mike Williams. Interesting. Sanders off the board. Pittman goes. So Kitmo could go easily. He could go QB. I'm always looking at the person in that 12 spot where maybe I want a certain player to come back to me, and I'm asking myself, can I pick one guy and guarantee my second one, or do I have to really just grab that guy that I certainly want here? But this guy has, I like Dobbins. I want Dobbins for the little mini combo with Mark Andrews, but now I can just comfortably go up and get Brandon Ayuk. Super balanced start. And you're going to see this a lot from me. And I don't always voice it because it's just sort of second nature in my head. But when I start balance like this, it allows me to not only just pick a falling value if one comes to me, because I'm not like locked in a corner. I don't have to draft a receiver, etc. So I'm always doing these sort of balanced type builds for that reason. So I'm always prepared to take the falling value. All right, we weren't going tight end. Houston is playing Tennessee, right? Twice. I don't like the Godwin pick. Playing New Orleans, Jacksonville, Green Bay. And I don't have a ton of Dameon Pierce. Very light on Dameon Pierce. So this is a little exposure smooth out pick as well. Let's see what we're at for Dameon Pierce exposures. 2 out of how many? 4.5%. All right. So that'll probably jump up to 6% now. So I'm happy with that. The new plan is really to smash in and just put myself into slow draft hell, because you're able to correlate those games with 8 hours in between each pick. You can really get into the nitty gritty and find those little mini stacks between teams week 17. You can find those teams that play each other. Oh no. Is that an auto pick then? But yeah, slow drafting is going to give correlation an advantage. Right now, we don't have every game memorized. It's disgusting actually how many I do, and that could be a problem. But when you slow it down with 8 hours between each pick, that's what I'm going to be doing. But we're jumping in live streams every single day, so live a little bit. Live a little bit. I like a healthy Najee with Darnell Washington blocking for him this year. Yes, thank you. Someone is thinking. Huge brain. And they also shored up the O-line with the first pick in the NFL draft. Najee's a volume king. And what's crazy, Wheels Up brought this up. That channel's not a fan of Najee, but also like they focus DK. And he goes in the same exact ADP in full point PPR, which is ludicrous. ludicrous. So if you like Najee, go play DK. You can get him at pick 38 right now. It's the same exact ADP. It's wrong. It's absolutely busted. It's busted. Definitely expect the efficiency to go up for Najee this year. Tony at 74, better in half point PPR than he is full, especially like DK where you need the 100-yard bonuses to really hit that ceiling. Can Tony be that number one receiver? I don't know. I think that team's always going to revolve around Kelsey. So I love this range. So like, again, we're fluid. We can go any which way we want. You can select a Deshaun Watson here and go with DPJ or Cedric Tillman. We can go in Anthony Richardson, just completely naked right now, and then grab like Jelani Woods late, grab an Alec Pierce. We can go Brandon Cooks and slap on Dak Prescott. So like this range is like shifting, dip, dive, duck, dive, dodge. Steph, I hate Najee. I probably need some exposure. Welcome to the live stream. That's what we do. Just change the way you think, just a little bit. Make you think a little harder about it. Buffalo. Do I think Corley? So Hamlin goes Cooks. I have to go Davis here, right? Unless I would have a little correlation between San Fran and Washington for week 17. That is kind of thin. Let's go Gabe Davis and not overthink it. I think that's just the right play to make. And we have the Giants are playing New Orleans or something. Who are the Giants playing? They're playing the Rams. All right. We're going A-Rich here. Yeah, we're going A-Rich. This is the range where I don't want to be drafting a receiver. Sure, if you have Herbert, you can go Quentin Johnson. James Conner's a nice little value here, but we're pretty set at running back right now. Going A-Rich gives us that extra ceiling that we want for week 17, that single game spike week potential. So I like that. Overthinking will do that to you. I have tons of Warren. I liked Warren on the big board when he was at like pick 170, 180. He's getting expensive for half point PPR. Like still a handcuff with, some action on third down, but in half point PPR, it doesn't really get you that far. He has the upside with the Najee injury, but I mean, Najee played through injuries last year from what I can remember. He was crying on the field at one point when he like rolled over his ankle or his knee, and he finished the game. He didn't miss time. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look good. The guy's wincing, and he's out there. So tough dude. You don't want those guys that go up for the ball and the first catch come down and first play they get hurt. Now, maybe you do want them because that guy's name's Mike Williams. Pretty good best ball play. Kamara at 94. I think we can just draft Kamara later. I think you're assuming too much risk by drafting him now in May. If we get good news, sure, we'll tack on a little Kamara. Will he be more expensive? Sure. He'll probably go in front of all of these guys. That's fine. He's not going to be a 4-round riser, right? They did bring in Kendry Miller as well. He has the absolute snipe artist for touchdowns in Taysom Hill, who we'll see if he's still on the team or if he's a cut candidate. Geno at 97, 14 picks before ADP. Pair him with Tyler Lockett. I think that team should be done at tight end, in my opinion. Spending capital like that, you have to be finished. So 7th spot in the live stream's got Diggs, Josh Allen, went DK, Kenneth Walker, so a little mini there. Ooh, with JSN. Probably wanted Geno here as the second QB, if I had to guess. When you grab 3 Seattle Seahawks. Pickens, Marquise Brown, and Alexander Madison. Really nice. Really nice. I mean, he still has the correlation between Pittsburgh and Seattle. So that's really nice there. But yeah, I'd be curious to know if you wanted Geno to fall back to you here, where he typically goes at 110. That would have been really good planning by you. And at 42, what's going on, my man? Got to get you on the show. We need that battle royale secret sauce from you. Perfect. This fell right into our pocket here. Let's go Rodgers. Bring him in with A Rich. Got Garrett Wilson, and we'll see what happens with this next pick. I don't really like stopping at 2 QBs here with A Rich and Rodgers. Can you do it? Maybe. Rodgers would have to probably have like a top 14 QB season. A Rich, you're expecting him to have spike weeks and down weeks. This guy's making a sweat. Oh, he goes Myers. Okay, so we get to pull in Lazard here if we want. Is there a running back I'm screaming that I absolutely have to have? Not really. We do have to catch up on running back when we make this pick. But I think this is worth it for the double. I think it's worth it for the double. They have Cleveland late. Washington week 16. They play Miami week 15. So we could have gone A-Chain too, but that doesn't really matter. So the way I'm trying to think about it and like just shape my mind around these playoffs and what we should be doing week 15, 16, 17. What are you playing for? What's important? Are we taking week 15, 16 into consideration? Yes and no. Yes and no. Those pods are 16 versus, what is it? Is it 230? I believe it's 230 for the finals. So there is a difference there. Let's pull this up, make sure that's correct. I believe it's 230. Wow, it's 115 person. So it goes from, for the puppy, it's actually 2 out of 12 advance, and then you get paired into an 18 person group. 2 out of 18 advance, and then it's 1 out of 18 advance. Oh, damn. Yeah. It still doesn't change a whole lot for me though, because you're still shooting for week 17. 115 people. And so it's $300 minimum. Goes to 420, 550. All the money's at the top. All the money's at the top. And a 42 says, in a BBM draft, we got a Chris Watson pick at 15. I hear that's super sharp. That guy must know something. He said, would love to link up for a draft in the future, though, for sure. Maybe a Monday night if you're available. Yeah. Mondays work. I can make Mondays work. If you're on the Twitter machine or Instagram, just get in our DMs and we can set up a date. pull up the board here. Frymuth to add on to that Pittsburgh stack with Seattle. I think that's smart. Brian Robinson. I'm starting to draft more Brian Robinson, and it's not like a whole lot changed with him or his situation, but it's more the value running backs are no longer there. So I find myself drafting Brian Robinson more now. Curious if anyone has a similar feeling about that. Darnell Mooney, Zay Jones, Geno, Evan Ingram. Yeah, he had to start pissing yellow here. Romeo Dobbs at 128 seems rich, no? That seems rich. Let's see. Let's see what happens. We can go a few ways. Like we can get San Fran correlation. We can get Washington versus San Fran week 17 correlation. It's going to be the San Fran correlation. Now, I'm thinking, like, I want to click Rashee Rice so bad. I want to click him so bad. My hand's like shaking. Like, do it, do it, do it. Like, I need another running back, though. No, we'll worry about that later. I just think he's going to be, a riser still from this spot. Like, wait till he catches one pass and it drops on Twitter. That'll be enough. Same thing with Anthony Richardson. The first complete pass that's on video in training camp. I'm late. Better late than never, they say. Yeah, I like McKinnon there. He gone. And Rice, so both of our picks get slapped. I don't mind bringing in Kendra here. Tampa Bay, Rams, Giants. Yeah, most likely going Kendra. Let's bring in Alec Pierce. We'll worry about running back later. That's the way we do it. Get the correlation with Anthony Richardson. And this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could stop at 7, depending who our next guy is. I'd be comfortable stopping at 7 here. Look at the draft capital we spent. So we can definitely stop at 7. 8, I think, would be a huge mistake. We're still pushing off our second tight end, which is fine. And running back, it's a hero running back build. QBs, we'll sort of see who falls late, but it's like it's going to be tough to correlate them late. Like you can do like Carolina or Houston with one of the rookies. Can they provide something to this team? Maybe at the QB position. Very good. Glad to hear it. Give the people what they want. Rashid Shaheed at 137. Go and get your guys. Go and get your guys type draft, which is just going to drop value to other people, but I like Shaheed. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but 137 is rich. 137 is rich. See Russ with Cortland Sutton, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper. So it has a little correlation. Kyler Murray goes at 141 to the Justin Herbert team. Is that a naked Kyler? Yeah, naked Kyler, which is fine. You could always go a late, what's his face? Rondell Moore. Where is he? Right here. Battled injuries, but the dude's still young. Kendra's falling a little bit. That's about it. Rashawn's basically at ADP. Jordan Love. We could, if Love fell to us, I guess we could do like a Jordan Love read late. But that seems thin. That seems super thin. All right, we're good. We got a plan. Staffy goes. Plan just got blown up so fast. 16 picks before ADP. That's what happens. We're shape shifting now. So he had Cooper Kupp. Not surprised he goes and gets Staffy, although most likely could have got him here. So if one of his picks got sniped, that'd be probably a small mistake in my opinion. Kind of infer that the one spot wasn't going to go QB with Fields and Geno. Especially reaching on both those guys too. Fields at 25. Yeah, that's an 11 pick reach. And then Geno, that was like a 13 pick reach. Dude, this Irv Smith, like his ADP is moving fast because of that KC game. People are just trying to get a small piece of it. Bryce Young goes super early. I haven't been in a draft where like 7 people are doing crazy stuff in so long. So this is just kind of funny. We're still fine. I think we could stop at 2 QBs, but there's still ways to correlate these guys, these QBs late. You have Jimmy still there. You have CJ Stroud still there. Okay, there's the 2 rookie RBs. They're off the board. We were definitely scooping one of them if they fell. Of course, they just tease us just enough to get within 5 picks, and then they say sayonara. But guys, if you haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. Helps us tremendously. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you can get in these live drafts with us when we go live. Let's go. John Johnson gone. Greg Dulcich is the tight end too. So my plan here was to just go Staffy Higbee. And we would have put off running back even further, which is always fun. It's always fun. Let's go Singletary here. Algier off the board. Downs off the board. I think we can just tap Chase Brown as well. I could definitely stop at 2 tight ends if we went Dulcich. Do we have any correlation? No, Chargers week 17. We don't have any correlation with Dulcich. Let's go Cincy. Let's go Cincy versus the KC matchup. We need to catch up at running back desperately. So I don't mind the double tap there. Brings us a little bit back up to speed. We do have both Houston running backs. Don't love that. I don't think it's the worst thing. We'll just sort of see what their roles are. 17 picks, 179 and 182. Let's see who typically goes there. Gets thin at running back. See, this is like the range I would rather be picking receivers. But we did push it. Like this Allen Lazard pick, we picked it for the correlation. Maybe if we correlated it differently. Miami A-Chain, I know was there. A-Chain has Baltimore, so that could have made sense where we do have the piece in Mark Andrews. But how does Aaron Rodgers get you there on a week 17 game? It's through the air. I mean, maybe he does one of his little signature back of the end zone, fake handoff back of the end zone, just kind of walks in on the loop towards the pylon, hides it. Always get one rushing touchdown for Rodgers as possible. Let's see how many did he have last year. Yeah, he only had 1. He had 3 the year before. So he's going to get there through the air. It's not all going to be to the one guy, so I think you need to double correlate them. Now, we could have done that late with like a Conklin as well. Just sort of thinking through it right now. BR7 says, I don't like pick 5. Like their team or the pick in general. I can't tell if you're live or just at the point where I said I like the first 2 picks and like the back 3 feel really good. Just because you can double tap these wide receivers, or you can get Eckler at 11, who finished as the number 1 point scoring as a flex. Wide receivers and running backs. Higbee at 171 is nice. We're up in 6 picks. Those RBs are gonzo. Those RBs are gonzo. See ya later. I think it is interesting having both of these guys. Oh, man. Mayer off the board. Wanted Mayer to go Jimmy in this spot. Now it's thin. Now I'm almost like I'd rather push it to Will Levis almost and go naked Levis, but not my favorite. I don't have anyone on Atlanta. I'm not interested in going like Mac Hollins. The Purdy Dream. Can someone say the Purdy Dream in the chat? This range, sure, we can go Curtis Samuel for our San Fran correlation. We do have 2 San Fran players, week 17 correlation. I think that's smart for our first pick. Mims off the board. I think I just have to go get him. I do like players in this range. I do like running backs in this range. Chuba behind Miles Sanders. Even Tajay Spears. I like in this range as well. But like I said, how does Rodgers get there? It's going to be through the air. And I strongly believe like we can stop at 2 tight ends here for sure. So our draft capital is going to be pretty even. We're going to have to piss out running backs to end this draft. 7 running backs. We'll see. We might be able to stop at 6. It's going to depend on who's left on the board and if we think that person can provide more value at that position than the opposite. So like it's either going to be 2 running backs or a running back and a QB most likely, because this draft capital at wide receiver is more than enough. It's more than enough. Interesting. NF42 said, just notice Underdog changed how your live drafted teams are displayed. They put them in the highest to lowest order for total points. Looks awesome. I like that. Nice little update. We don't even have anyone in Tampa Bay to go like a Baker, although I have not been clicking Baker at all. I think a sneaky one, and I'll probably do it at some point. Where's our boy? He's way down, isn't he? Marcus Mariota. Just with the potential that Philly sits Jalen Hurts. I know it's gross. It is gross. But when no one else is doing it, gross wins when it works. Jared Stidham. We don't even have Denver players. People have been screaming that tune. No pun intended. I think Will Levis is fine, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that really helps us all that much, to be honest. I think I'm just going to stick with the 2 QBs and attach 2 running backs to this team and call it a day. Mechie at 195. I mean, that's a good bet to make, in my opinion. Because if he does get good news, like he could be a riser, significant riser, or he could not play this season, right? I mean, that is the alternative option. But if he does play and there's news that he's healthy, he's on the field, practicing, all that, and he has been working out, he worked out all last season, you're likely putting him ahead of Nico Collins, ahead of or next to. I mean, Nico Collins went at 138 in this draft. He's rising so fast. But I think Nico Collins might fall a little bit, and that gap would sort of be close by August, in my opinion, between Nico Collins and John Mechie. Gus Edwards is a good pick. Damn it. All our little mini stacks are getting scooped up. Zach Evans, definitely someone that we were going to look to target. Let's go Jerome Ford with this pick. Now, Ford could be a great pick, or he might be dust in another month when this team adds Leonard Fournette to the backfield. No, I'm just kidding. I won't put that on you guys right now. I won't put that on you. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky. Kitmo has just Kyle Pitts. He has a boatload of rookie wide receivers. JT, David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Jerick McKinnon, and was that Tyler Algier? Brings on Kenneth Gainwell, Trevor Lawrence, and Jimmy. Austin Hooper, really digging deep. I'm going to go James Robinson just for the Buffalo New England game, week 17. Bringing a little mini here. I don't mind Israel Abanikanda, but again, now we're adding, I think, too many Jets, and Israel Abanikanda is not that much of a pass catcher, so I don't think it would make too much sense there. So a 2-7-7-2 build. Sort of got boxed at QB. They went super early all over the board. Did anyone fall as like a value? I mean, Richardson fell a little bit past his ADP. We want to double tap Dak, Brandon Cooks, but Hamlin Motorsports beat us to it. But I don't think we got necessarily boxed out because I think you can push these two forward. If Anthony Richardson hits, he's going to hit hard. And then Rodgers will just be there to provide that floor. He'll have his spike weeks too. Jets have a bye week of 7. Indy has a bye week of 11. If you guys don't have this information, jump into our Discord. Vinny had posted it in the risers and fallers page. All the bye weeks for the players. So helpful. And we also have posted the week 15, 16, 17 matchups for every team, and I organized them by conference. Big brain plays. Makes it so much easier to kind of sift through the information to try to get these stacks, the minis, the double stacks, etc. Like this team's basically Austin Eckler and fill in the blank with your name. if you can fill in the blank with your name, like you pass the test sort of group. Strong at receiver. They have the double, actually have the triple stack with Rodgers. We got Mark Andrews holding down the fort here. It feels, I'm definitely thin at QB, right? But I'm not thin at 2 places, I don't think, because we do have 7 running backs. You only have to start 2. I think it's fine. Definitely not our best performance. Did Julio retire? I believe so, right? I don't think he's on a team. I think this filled. Let's pull up that draft real quick. Here's the slow draft hell. And I'm also in the Dalmatian. I might jump out of this now because I do want to join it without any of the pounders. Completed. So we have 45 puppies. I'll probably stop after those slow drafts. That'll bring me to 55. And that's actually more than I wanted to do. I just wanted to do 50, but the slow draft technique, I want to test it out. So Kid Prosper in the live stream started Diggs, Josh Allen, went DK, Walker, JSN. Then brings back with Pickens this week 17 matchup, Seattle versus Pittsburgh. Marquise Brown, Alexander Madison, Pat Fryermuth, Brian Robinson, Chiggy, Nico Collins, Jalen Warren, Mostert, Kenny Pickett, Khalil Shakur, Gus Edwards, and Hunter Henry. So still gets a piece of that game, Seattle versus Pittsburgh, which is cool. Pulls in Hunter Henry here. Let's see who else was in this draft. Hamlin Motorsports picking at the 10 spot right before us, making us just causing pain. Dak Prescott and Derek Carr. Just like us, I think it's a little thin. Juwan Johnson, Greg Dulcich, Sam Laporta. Little thin. ETN, Harris, Dobbins. Running backs are strong. I like the Zach Evans pick too. CeeDee Lamb, Amon Ra, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Jameson Williams, Elijah Moore, A.T. Perry. Interesting A.T. Perry pick, but correlates with Derek Carr, so I'm fine with it. It's nice. Very nice. Solid draft. I think that was it. Was that really it? We had 2 pounders in that draft. There was some crazy shit happening. Like Kyler falls. Bryce Young goes super early. Like this was a team that would have been, my squad would have been nice with like a Trey Lance, just like someone to throw a dart. I think even, so Brock Purdy went at 214. I guess that's the only other option we could have gone with having Ayuk and Elijah Mitchell. You're not typically going to pair too many QB pairings with Elijah Mitchell, though, not a pass catching back. Need to get those BBM4 drafts up. Yeah, we're sprinkling them. Same thing. I think for BBM4, you're going to have a better advantage right now just by doing the slow drafts where you can really think about each pick. You can go to our Discord and you can pull up this page right here. Say, all right, who's playing who? Week 17. It's all right in front of me. Just look at the left side here. And then is there any way I can get 3 teams that play each other like a certain amount of times, right? I think one of them was New Orleans, the Giants, and Tampa Bay. So let's look at this one. New Orleans plays the Giants in Tampa Bay. And then let's go to the Giants. So New Orleans, was that the combo? Yeah. So you would get an extra playoff game here, basically. So if you pair those 3 teams, you would still get this week 17 correlation. You get an extra playoff game. I think those little love triangles, we can call them, will be interesting. It's nothing that's going to change our ADPs that we're going to be chasing for. That is like an ultra small, thin edge that we're looking at. But I'm sure there's going to be more stuff that pops up when we look at this stuff, and we are going to be doing a little tier breakdown of who has the best playoff schedule, best week 17 schedules. Probably be 2 different videos. Completely ignored my team. I didn't see it. Let me pull it up. What spot were you in? Am I just blind? You're in the 5 spot. Oh, I read off the 7 spot. Let's blame the baby on that one. Lack of sleep. Not blame the baby, lack of sleep, which I guess is like blaming. All right, here we go. ER7 with the dreaded. Are you sure you want me to go over this one? 366. Are you sure? Are you sure? I do have a 3663 build that works. I'll pull it up after this. Let's see if it is well balanced, because this has to be balanced like professionally. I like these 3 so far, so I like what I'm looking at. I'm going to go to tight ends next. Kincaid, Hill, and Johnny Smith. Thin, a little thin there. Running back, Stevenson, Swift, A-Chain, Rashawn Johnson, Lenny, and Dwayne McBride. It's a lot of rookies. If Lenny can hit the right landing spot, I think it's fine. I think it's pretty good. You have upside, but if Lenny can land in a decent spot to provide a little floor with his pass catching ability to get these rookies up to speed, I think Rashawn Johnson can take over that first and second down role towards the end of the season. So I'll actually see how fast that happens there. Tyreek, Olave, Kirk, London, Burks. I'm fine with stopping 5 here or 6 here. So it's tough to balance these 3-6-6-3 builds. Extremely tough. We did it in a Best Ball Mania live stream. Let's pull her up. Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Njoku, Trey McBride, Hunter Henry. I think we have enough targets here for sure. Chubb, Pirine, Gibson, Wilson, Jalen Warren, and Chase Brown. So we were actually reaching up on Jalen Warren before he fell to that ADP that he's at now. Where does he go now? Yeah, so he goes 5 picks earlier. Chase Brown was at 187. Now he goes at 165. Yeah, 165. So we got a small value there. I think this running back's fine. Like this group's fine. Get Chubb at 27. And you get a bunch of names to fill in as the RB2 every week. And there are wide receivers. You would think they'd be weak, right? We got Chase, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Drake London, Tyler Lockett, and Deontay Johnson, 17 picks after ADP. Tyler Lockett, about 7.5. So we do scoop some values here, which allowed us to stop at 6. I do like the balance of this one a little better than ER7's. thin. Yeah, screen thin. I love it. So where would this team be the most thin? It's obviously not receiver. I think running backs is fine. It's a hero running back build. You're going to get a bunch of these guys to fill in. If Chase Brown misses, if Jalen Warren misses as like just basically a handcuff all year and Najee stays healthy, these two could very well not provide a lot of points. Pirine, though, should have a good start to the season with Javonte Williams' injury. You're not expecting them, even if Javonte Williams is playing, to be like, hey, go out there and run the ball 25 times. We want to really see how that knee's doing, right? So they're going to ease him back in. So Pirine will have a role no matter what. And that was sort of my thinking here with drafting Pirine. Bringing in a rookie, sort of give him time to establish a role potentially. And when you're drafting like you were right. You're not drafting like, oh, like this, you're not shooting for upside, right? Like if I added another running back here, because like, oh, I'm kind of thin here at running back, maybe Chase Brown does hit and he provides RB3 value. Maybe he can spike with an RB2 week against KC week 17. Who knows, right? So if you draft like you're right, you'll be able to hit that ultimate upside a lot easier. And you need to hit that ultimate upside to win a tournament that has 677,000 entrants. If they miss, it's fine. It's fine. Like the $25 is gone anyways. Adding another running back won't do anything. It won't do anything. But guys, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. If you enjoyed the stream, ER7, I didn't mean to bash it. If you enjoyed the stream, drop a like on the way out, and we'll see you guys all on the next one. Thank you. Pounders.